Welcome back to the Bianca Podcast, the space where we raise your standards and reclaim your power. I'm your host. And today, we're diving deep into the psychology of relationship. We're talking about feminine nature, and we are going to dissect some very popular yet controversial advice floating around the internet. So, grab your drink, get comfortable, and let's get into it. You know, I was just eating earlier. I might be putting food in my mouth, but if you looked at my face, you would see absolute disdain, just pure judgment. Because we need to talk about something I mentioned briefly before. I told you guys I would address this when we hit a certain number of subscribers, and we are here. So let's talk about the Wizard Liz. Do you guys remember that specific quote from her? She said something along the lines of, no matter how people bully you, no matter how badly people treat you, no matter how cruel they are to you. She basically said, don't worry about it, because you will always evolve into a better version of yourself. And that God, or the universe, will arrange things perfectly so that one day you will stand in front of the very person who harmed you, just so they have to witness your success, just so they have to see you shining. I heard that, and honestly, I scrolled right past it. I never watch her content. I have never really been a viewer. I swear to you guys, the only reason I even know who this person is because you guys made such a huge fuss about her getting cheated on. That whole drama blew up. So the other day, I stumbled upon that clip. And you know how the TikTok algorithm works. Once you watch one thing, it feeds you more. So it pushed another clip to me. And in this one, she was sitting there sharing a story about her mother. I actually reposted this on my feed, so you can go check it out if you want the context. She was speaking in English, but let me translate the essence of it for you. She was saying, "Mom, your life has had so much trauma. You have been through so many upheavals. So many negative things have happened to you. Why aren't you sad? Don't you ever feel weak? Don't you ever have a moment of softness?" And her mother looked her straight in the eye and said, "The world is not made for the weak." And the Wizard Liz said that sentence woke her up. It became her compass, her guiding star. She realized that life is only for the strong. And from that moment on, she decided to be as strong as her mother. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Do you see the narrative? Here is my take. And I need you to really listen. That girl, she is wrong. She is wrong because of her mother. And she is wrong because she hasn't realized yet that her mother's way of being isn't necessarily right. Is the stream lagging? Hold on. Why is it lagging all of a sudden? Let me check the connection. If it's lagging for you, try exiting and coming back in. Okay, are we good? Let's continue. We should never, and I mean never, try to deny our own nature. Do not deny your essence. If you deny your true self, you lose your entire life. I am not joking. You will waste your entire existence. Denying your nature and your essence is the single greatest mistake you can make in this lifetime. Remember this. Go watch interviews with elderly people. You know, when they ask people who are at the very end of their lives, what makes you most proud? Or what is your biggest regret? I'm talking about people who are really old, people who are facing the end. When asked what they regret most, or what advice they would give to the young, over 95% of them say the exact same thing. Never live a life that isn't true to yourself. Don't lose yourself trying to be someone else. The Wizard Liz and her mother, they need to understand something. And I hope you guys understand this too. Being tough, being hardened like that. Maybe it's good in the sense that it protects you. Maybe she is stronger than you are right now. Maybe she has a better life on paper. I'm just speaking hypothetically. But is she a happier woman? When I look at her, I see a girl living in pain. I see someone living in a prison of her own making. If I had to live like that, I think I would go insane. I would never put myself in that situation. Never. You have to remember, as women, we are born with a nature that is soft. Women are born with a desire to lean on someone, to be supported. Now listen to me carefully. Even though I don't need to rely on anyone, I can live perfectly fine on my own. I still like to rely on someone. I enjoy the feeling of being supported. This is where the haters get it so wrong. They are so foolish. They say, why does she always rely on her husband? Can't she stand on her own 2 feet? Of course I can stand on my own, but I choose to lean. Relying on someone is a skill. It is a form of competence. Not everyone can learn the art of relying on a man. Do not misunderstand this. Relying on someone because you are helpless is different from relying on someone because you are capable. There is reliance out of impotence and reliance out of competence. I rely on him because I have the power to do so. If you rely on him because you are useless, because you can't survive without him, and he doesn't even like you leaning on him, that is helplessness. But reliance based on competence? That means the person I am leaning on loves that I am leaning on him. I make him want to support me. That is the difference. 2 completely different concepts. So please, do not deny your instincts. Do not deny the ego and the essence of being a woman. We are called the fairer sex for a reason. We are the softer sex. Men are the stronger sex. Why are you trying to be strong with him? Don't try to usurp his power. Why are you tensing up? Why are you flexing your muscles when you could just relax? Just throw the rabbit away. Let it go. I saw another clip of the Wizard Liz a while back. This was way before I knew about her breakup drama. It was a viral clip. She was standing in her bathroom, right in front of the mirror, by the sink, and she said something about her husband. She called him my current husband, or currently husband, meaning the husband she has right now. Did any of you see that clip? And the guy. He turns around and says, "What do you mean, current husband? Why would you say that? It should be forever husband." And I watched her face as she said it. She had this look, this arrogant, tilted chin look. You don't even need to hear the audio. Actually, do this for me. Plug your ears. Go watch that clip again. I am being serious. You need to watch that clip. Turn off the sound. Ideally, watch it in a quiet room. But even if it's quiet, physically plug your ears. Stuff your fingers in there so all you hear is that humming sound of your own body. Block out everything. Look at the clip. Become deaf for a moment, because when you remove one sense, the others heighten. Listen to someone who only has a 4th grade education on this. It's amazing people believe this stuff. When you are blind, your hearing improves. When you're deaf, your vision becomes sharper. Your perception becomes deeper. You need to watch that clip as a deaf person so you can feel the energy field between those 2 people. You need to feel what is radiating from that relationship. It is so clear. That girl is suppressing that man. She is humiliating him. And that man, he is in a position of cowardice. I won't even say he's just in a weak position. He looks henpecked. He looks diminished. Look at it. Remember, silence is key. Plug your ears tight. Press them in. I felt it immediately. Even back when they were dating, she was trampling on him. Maybe trampling sounds too harsh, but that is what it was. What else would you call it? Some of you aren't getting it. I mean, mute the video and plug your ears at the same time. Even if your room is silent, do both. You guys in the comments need to pay attention. Go sit in the front row if you're going to be this slow. I said plug your ears. Anyway, when I saw that, I didn't know they were the same couple that would later have this huge breakup drama. But when I saw that clip, I didn't think, wow, she's so cool. I thought, oh, These little kids. They think this is cool. They think this is edgy. You are heading for disaster. Trouble is coming for you. I swear to you. She thought she was being a boss. She thought she was being a savage. But trouble was knocking at the door. And when I heard they broke up, I wasn't surprised. Of course, it had to happen. That is how the story goes. It has to be that way. And then, recently, I saw that clip where she talks about revenge, about how you shouldn't care how people treat you, because one day you will be successful. And that guy will have to look at you and see you in your better version. That mindset, that is the psychology of revenge. It is so heavy. It is such a burden to carry. She is still in that developmental phase. She is young, but you guys need to remember one thing. People ask me, Bianca, how do you forget things so easily? How do you live so lightly? How are you so unbothered? Before, I didn't know. I only saw that one clip in the toilet, and I didn't care who she was, because I saw bad energy. I saw a girl who thought she was cool for putting her man down. There is nothing more foolish, nothing more stupid than trying to trample your own man to elevate yourself. It is incredibly unintelligent. I don't know if she has realized it yet. Current husband. It implies temporariness. My husband right now. And then she talks about revenge. She hasn't reached the threshold yet. She hasn't realized that life itself, your own existence, is the most important thing. How do you forget quickly? How do you make everything light as a feather? I have said this in my videos. I hope you view everything as being as light as a feather. Because, guys, remember this. Life is short. You have no idea how short it is. When you are standing on the edge of death, when you are facing the exit door, you realize that all of this petty stuff is meaningless. Only your life matters. Everything else is void. Someone commented, I see so many people supporting her. Well, yeah, that is why there are fewer happy people in the world than miserable people. In this world, few are truly happy. Many are suffering because they don't realize these truths. She is adopting this philosophy from her mother. In that clip, I reposted, she asks her mom why she isn't sad despite the trauma. And her mom says, the world isn't for the weak. And the wizard Liz shares this with such pride. I look at it and think, well, yeah, like mother, like daughter. Honestly, those people who try to go against their own nature, they aren't trying to be strong because they want to. They are doing it because they aren't strong enough to accept that they are weak. True strength is understanding when to be strong and when to be weak. Her mother was strong. Why? Not because the world isn't for the weak, but because if she was weak, she would have died. Because nobody loved her. No woman wants to have to be that strong. If nobody loves you, if nobody protects you, then you are forced to be strong. It's either be strong or perish, because no one is there to catch you. Do you understand? The mistake of the mother here is that she went through the storms of life. Divorce, heartbreak, whatever happened in her private life, she went through emotional turmoil and she lost faith. I keep emphasizing this to you guys. You must have faith. Living requires faith. She lost faith in love. She lost faith in life. She lost faith in men. She doesn't believe good men exist. So I have to sit here and repeat myself like a broken record. There are no bad men. There is only the guy who is bad to you, but is good to another woman. Have you ever seen that? The guy who treats one girl like trash, but treats the next girl like a queen. He is amazing to her. I choose not to live a life without faith. I choose a lifestyle of strength because the most immediate example I have is my parents. I can only talk about this briefly here. I go deeper in my classes. But I look at my parents. They are still happy. They have been through storms, through ups and downs. I can see where my dad was wrong, where he was right, where my mom was wrong, where she was right. I look at it objectively. I don't idolize them just because they are my parents. I don't blindly accept their truth. I look at the problems in their relationship, and I figure out how to overcome them. The wizard Liz got swept away by her mother's trauma. We need to maintain a neutral attitude, even if it is your mom and dad. Their marriage is their marriage. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with my love for her or him. I stand outside of it. If they fight, they fight. I observe, I evaluate. The difference between me and the wizard Liz is that I identified the errors, and I realized that women should be women. Let women be women. When I failed in my decision to have a child with my ex, Du's father, I considered him the man of my life. That's why I had a child with him. I decided to keep the baby. But then I felt like a failure. However, I never lost faith. I knew that I had chosen the wrong person. Not that I chose a bad person, but I chose an unsuitable person. He wasn't a match. This guy, he drank all the time. He was always drunk. It was simple. He wasn't wrong. I was the one who was wrong. I should have been drunk like him. Then we would have been very happy together. But the fact that he drank and partied, that was who he was from the beginning. He didn't change. I was the one who couldn't accept it later on. So the mistake was mine. I admit my faults. I see my own errors from start to finish. From the beginning, he was a drinker. And suddenly I moved in and tried to make him sober. That doesn't work. I don't watch content that makes me feel heavy. I don't lose faith. I knew he didn't love me enough. When I calmed down and evaluated it, I accepted it. And I didn't fall into that trap of saying, I'm going to be a single mom forever. I'm going to be a mother hen protecting her chick alone. I don't need a man. I didn't do that. Because I want to tell you guys, you must always look straight at the truth, no matter how painful it is. Because when you dare to face the truth, you can find a solution. If you hide from the truth, you will hide forever, and you will never solve anything. The truth I realized was this. A child grows up best in conditions where they have both a father and a mother, and where the parents love each other. If I played the strong single mom role, I wouldn't accept that reality. But I realized two things. First, I love men. Second, but if someone else takes care of us, that is much nicer, isn't it? I acknowledge that, so I looked for the right person, someone with finances. I wasn't just playing around, and I still believed that love exists. I just had to find the right fit. The previous guy wasn't bad. We just didn't fit. I continued my search. I was very aggressive in my search. People on the gossip sites try to expose me. They say, she just moved back to Vietnam in late 2019, and by April 2020, she already met her husband. Was she in a rush? Did she need a man that badly? Would she die without a man? And the answer is yes. You are absolutely right. I was in a rush. I was in a huge rush because having a man makes me happy. What is happiness? Going out and having someone drive you. At night, having someone to ask how you are. Someone to cuddle. My child has someone to care for him. I have someone to care for me. I was in a hurry. My youth is limited. My time is not infinite. I don't have time for healing. I don't have time to sit around being traumatized. Why would I live alone for a while? To prove what? Suddenly having meals served to me isn't nice? Suddenly having someone pour my water isn't nice? Why force myself to be alone? No, I like this. So I was very serious about finding a new father for my son. I focused on it. Because I saw that a child growing up with only a mom or only a dad is a disadvantage for that child. It isn't fair, and it isn't good. I apologize if there are single moms listening, but please accept this reality. Inside our own bodies, we have both male and female hormones. Even though I am female, I have male hormones. So for me to grow up and develop fully, I need to be raised by both a male and a female figure, because my body is made of both. Don't ever hope that a child raised only by a mom or only by a dad will be fine. They won't be fully fine. Even living with grandparents isn't the same. If you grew up missing a parent, you have to be self-aware. You have to realize, I am not fully stable. Why? So you know your tendencies. So when you go out into society and someone says something, you don't get so easily offended. You understand your triggers. You have to dig up the problem to solve it. So yes, I found a new father for my son, and I was quick about it. My youth is short. I don't have time to be sad. It's strange, right? At that time, my son was in France. I couldn't bring him back to Vietnam because that jerk, his biological father, hid his passport. I left. I came back here, and for 3 years, I played a psychological game with him for nearly 3 years, so that my current husband would find a way at all costs to get my son and bring him to me without me ever opening my mouth to beg. The entire plan to get my son back to Vietnam, to get his passport, to get his birth certificate, to get the original documents. I controlled it from here. I had to get everything back without a lawsuit, without going to court, peacefully. That was my plan. It lasted nearly 3 years. And the person who came up with the idea, the person who verbally said, we must bring him to Vietnam, was my husband. It wasn't that I trapped him into raising another man's child. I didn't trap him. What is a trap? A trap is when someone falls in and feels cheated, when they feel it's unfair. My husband is very happy with his life right now. He has another son. Everything is fulfilling. He has a family. He is happy with that. That is a beautiful trap. Where does this idea come from that trapping someone means they have to hate you? That is why I tell you about balance and fairness. What he sacrificed for me and my son, I have to give back to him in equal measure or more. His decision to bring my son here came from his own heart, because doing so made him happy. It made our family happy. And what did I give him? A warm home, a family, and a son who truly loves him. That is what I gave him. Someone commented, I want to tell you that your family confirms everything you say. Thank you. Don't ever have the mindset of taking advantage of someone or trying to win over someone. Please, always operate on spirits. If you want something from your partner, you must give back something of equal value. Only with balance and fairness can the scale remain steady. It has to be balanced. If it tilts all the way to you, the water flows to you, and the person up there dies of thirst. There is a saying, upper field accumulates water, lower field flourishes. It's about flow. You must balance it. If I eat rice, they must get meat. If they eat meat, I eat rice. If I have soup, they have the stir fry. Remember that. Someone asked, why do they commit but not follow through? Sorry, we are out of time for that topic. I will save that for the Thursday live stream. I will explain why I personally don't choose men who are in the startup phase. I don't choose men who are just building their careers. I say this so those of you who are with men building their careers understand what you are facing, so you can solve it. I am not telling you to divorce him, but marriages with men in that phase break easily because you don't understand the pressure. Oh, look who just joined. Spice Girl, we have been live for 2 hours. You missed all the good stuff. Let's talk about one last thing. The haters still criticize me for a video I made where I said, go to your boyfriend's house, break off the fishtail, and eat it, and see what their attitude is. I said it in a funny way in the clip. Some understood, some didn't. But let me explain the lesson here. Honestly, if you are dating someone and you feel the need to go to his house to test his parents by eating the fishtail, you have already failed. You have already lost. If you are dating a guy and you walk into his house feeling like you need to check if his parents are decent, that means you don't trust him. If you have to test him, you lose. But if it gets to the point where you must test and you eat that fishtail, if they react negatively, if the family gets upset, well, I can't show you my middle finger right now, but imagine I am. If a family sees you eating the best part of the fish and they think it's normal, that's good. You aren't being rude. You are eating. You pick the delicious part to eat. Why should you eat the bad part? You are the girlfriend. You are debuting as a guest. You are a VIP guest of the family. The future daughter-in-law. The person who will birth the next generation for their lineage. And on the first day, you eat the belly. You eat the head, and you think you are going to marry into that? If you eat the head, what does that mean? It means they are giving you the scraps. They eat at the upper table. You eat at the lower table. They eat the meat. You eat the leftovers, the garbage. Don't even talk about, oh, maybe they like the head if they feed you the scraps. You failed at the selection stage. It speaks to your standards that you even dated a guy like that. If you like eating the fish head, that's your business. But I am talking about being a guest and being offered the scraps. Chew on my head instead. I don't like fish. Fine, add that in. I don't like fish. I am just using it as an example because I am angry. Eat the sour soup. Go for the prawn. Stick your spoon right in and take the prawn. If the mother says, "Oh, look at her eat. She has a good appetite. Eat more, honey. Make yourself at home. Don't be shy." That is a green flag. That is where you want to be. We are going to wrap it up there. Thank you for listening to the Bianca Podcast. Raise your standards, and I will see you in the next one.